Hey, this is our last question. This is 2 minutes each. This is kind of like your opportunity to say anything that wasn't brought up earlier. And the question reads, why should we vote for you? And Glenn, you're first up.
Well, we didn't take a moment to introduce ourselves, so I kind of like the idea of doing this here at the end. My name is Glenn Hurst. I am a physician from Minden, Iowa, and I bring a few unique qualities to the County Board of Supervisors if elected. As I mentioned, I'm a physician, and I think that's an important qualifier. Our county is 90th out of 99 counties in public health outcomes, and honestly, that's the best we've done in the last 5 years. Now, the county has just taken over the city health clinic in this last year. You've seen some of this information in the newspaper. So we're at a unique point in time where we can step into this role as the county and maybe try to do some things different that would raise us up from that abysmal number. We are the second largest county in geography here, and we're in the top eight in population. We've got a lot at stake here with regards to public health, and we're talking about STDs, sexually transmitted infections. We're talking about immunization for children. We're talking about smoking cessation and obesity. And we may have the greatest programs to address those problems, but if we don't have a population that we've moved to a position of starting to address those problems, we're not spending our money wisely. So as a physician, I think I'm in a unique place to bring that area of our county into better focus. I'm also, like I mentioned, one of the only rural candidates running. I think there's something to be said about perspective, and I have a very definitive job that I want to do. We're going to run a ballot initiative to district this county. So if you don't like me, vote me out in 4 years. But when you vote the next time, you're going to be voting for somebody from your area.
All right. As I said earlier, I'm a farmer, and my son helps me farm, so I'll have time to work on the county government. I've had two terms on before, and I've enjoyed it. I understand it, and I'd like to seek your vote November 6th. Thank you.
Well, you all know my name. I'm Justin Schultz, and I'm humbly asking for your vote to be reelected to the Pottawatomie County Board of Supervisors on November 6th. You know, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I've dedicated my entire adult life to service. You know, 18 years ago, I joined the military. I fought in war twice. You know, the last time I almost didn't come home. And I got a friend back there who literally almost had to fight for his life to come back. And that's who I am. I'm a person that fights for what I believe in. And as your county supervisor, I fought to provide you the best services possible. I fought to decrease your taxes, which successfully our board has done the last 4 years. And you know, when you talk about where you live, that's not a qualifier for this job. It's not. And if you really want to get technical, I live in a freaking log home, okay, out in the county. It doesn't get much more rural than that. But I'm going to tell you something. You know, I'm a combat veteran, I'm a community leader, and I'm a proud father. You know, I believe in pushing economic development to its limits. I believe that we need to invest in our infrastructure so that we can see real quality growth. I believe in protecting our farms. After all, we are an agricultural community, and that's what this whole county was founded on. And most importantly, I believe in each and every one of you, because I am one of you. I'm just like you. I work hard, I live in your community, and I do everything I can to make this place better. So I'm going to ask you, when you go to the ballot, you know, when you go to vote on November 6th, please consider voting to get me reelected back in there. Because there's no one up here that's going to work harder for you. I'm going to be your best choice. So vote Justin Schultz.
It's a great question. And it's one of those questions you should have your elevator speech for, right, ready to go. I am enormously practical, probably ridiculously practical. The right brain side of me, the engineer side of me, dictates just about everything that I do. And I also believe, which is a good thing, very practical, and I'm very common sense oriented. I do believe that our government should be of the people, by the people, for the people. And I believe that the folks that I see in this room, the men and women, and the women you know, the challenges that some of us represent and what we have to deal with every day in our practicality in managing budgets, I think I bring that to the table. I have managed and very successfully and continue to manage multi-million-dollar budgets. I do that every day, day in, day out. So I'm very comfortable with that, and I have an enormous sensitivity to managing those budgets and what to monitor in those budgets. I'm not beholden to anyone, not a business, not a donor, not a political machine. I'm just a gal who decided to do this in January, and I'm doing it. I'm going for it. So I'm hoping you'll consider me as a vote for County Board of Supervisors.
Well, 4 years ago, I answered, the same question was asked. After 4 years, I can give my report card. 4 years ago, our county raised the taxes the largest it's ever had. We had a 17% increase in taxes. Our cash reserves had been reduced almost to the bottom. We were borrowing money against our road use tax. We had no plan, no idea what we were going to do, and we were in really serious shape. Our bond rating was going down. 4 years later, with work with the County Board of Supervisors, the elected officials, the department heads, and the unions and the people who work for the county, we can say today that we've reduced our levy 40 years in a row. Our cash reserves have increased. Our bond rating is the highest it's ever been. We're physically in as good a shape as this county's ever been. It shows good growth and development. We also have been able to spend money to make improvements to the area. The jail has had improvements. Our 911 center has had improvements. Improvements in the courthouse. Something that was supposed to be sprinkled 15 years ago has just been completed on the completion point. We have started looking to the future. What are we going to do with our space needs? Where are we going to put people, and how we're going to operate? Some of the investment we've made in the last few years without raising taxes is the IT department. Probably the future, not only of where we're going to be in the future, but also how we can protect that future. Again, I would hope for your vote in November.
Thank you, Tom. Robert, same question. Why should we vote for you?
I will be your voice for liberty on the Polk County Board. And the last 4 years I've been living in Polk County. I understand the frustrations that people have with the county and the city of Council Bluffs. And I come from a rural part of Iowa, from the River Valley. I have ran for city council before. I have seen how bad government can harm people's lives, personally, and viewing my friends' lives and my neighbors. And also, I have, the last 2 years, I have debated people on the far right and the far left, and people who will just have wacky ideas. I've been there, I've done it, and many of you in this room probably have seen me on TV, on the news, because I've been going to a lot of protest events the last 2 years. You might have seen me in a little cape with a flag that says, "Do not tread on me." So I have put my teeth on the grind, and I have debated people with no audience, or with a dozen people, or 100, depending on where I'm at. I have debated groups of people. I have debated the Democrat Socialists. I have been harassed by Antifa. I have debated a kid from Lincoln who's a outright Nazi, and I have each debate I get stronger. So voting for me is a vote to push the ideas of liberty, not to go backwards and use government answers for every single of our for all of our questions. And and so he's comes to the office. But and I'm honestly, the sign I bought in the back of the room cost me only $23. I know my other candidates here has spent $10,000 or more. So have a nice day.
Thank you, Robert. Don, same question. Why should we vote for you?
Well, I've been a public servant for the last 29 years, and I'm proud of that. We've worked hard at the city, and I think we've provided a lot of programming for the city. The other thing that I guess from standpoint, I'm a hard worker. the last 2 years, the Potawatomi County Development Department has basically acquired through the board 3 different new divisions, and that's the Public Health and Environmental Health, Animal Control, and the new Pot County Recycling Center. Since that kind of coincides with what I did for a number of years, I think it would be a win-win situation for me to, if elected, to step in and help them grow and prosper. And I guess that's why I'm looking for your vote on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Marcia, same question. Why should we vote for you?
Well, I have a lifetime of experience. I have a lifetime of tolerance, and I know how to get things done. I've been doing them all my life. I'm a small business owner, so I bring the knowledge of that into the arena. And I believe it is time for us to take back our democracy and bring back workers' rights and women's rights and all the rights that are necessary for us to succeed in the future. I am darn tired of seeing our rights taken away from us. So that's one of the reasons I ran for this position. I think that if you want to accomplish something, you need to start in your home arena. And believe you me, I know this arena. I know all these people on this board, and I love them all. But I think it's time that we get a fresh perspective on what our future is. And I believe that we should work with our students, that we should educate them well, that we should give them every single opportunity that we can for them to succeed in our world today. Because like I said before, we don't know what's coming in the future. We don't know 10, 15 years from today what our county will be like. But we do know that in our county there are many, many challenges. And we need people to step up and take the reins and get things done. I'm tired of talk. Let's do it. And I would appreciate your vote on November the 6th, which is just 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Thank you, Marcia. Scott, why should we vote for you?
Well, I'm very humbled that I've been able to, and blessed that I've been able to serve. And I started serving probably, I'm over 60, so probably 40 years ago, on a volunteer basis. I started in Mr. Hannafin put me on the Parks Board in Council Bluffs, and I was able to work with that organization for approximately 14 years, and then I was elected to the City Council. So I've been, like I said, probably neglected some of my family responsibilities, and that's sad, and I have to give respect to everybody up here that's willing to step out of that arena and sacrifice themselves, because a lot of our families suffer when we do this political venture in our lives. So those folks that do that, as Justin alluded to, we go above and beyond a lot of times, and the amount of meetings and little what do you want to say, assignments, we call them affiliates, that we have to go to, and the time we commit to that, and away from our families and our children and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren in some people's cases. You know, again, I feel humbled and blessed, and I would ask that on November 6th that you at least give me one of your 3 votes that you have for supervise, and I would encourage you to get everyone out there, your family, friends, workers, and neighbors, to exercise their rights to vote, because that's what this is all about, is voting.